The American Broadcasting Company, ABC. Watched by more people than any other network. ABC.
Program or advertisement. USA Network is not responsible for the claims.
Well, it's USA Network. That's fine. Because they didn't show much of GamePro TV anymore, did they? What is this? You're just curious. Before we start the cartoons, we have to look at something here. Oh, it's good old Susan Powder. Stop the insanity, says Susan.
You can lose up to 10 pounds in 10 days.
That's crazy. But let's find some appropriate. Let's put appropriate theme on here before we start. Well, we'll get to that, Susan. But first, this. Anyway, now it's a sad farewell to NBC traditional cartoons. Right around the time of 90, I think it was after 91, the last cartoons I could remember were Super Mario World, Captain N, Macaulay Culkin's Wish Kid. I think Rick Moranis had his own cartoon, and there was Camp Candy. That was the last of the cartoons that we saw on NBC. Now, Cubo would come much later in the 2000s, late 2000s, and then there were educational cartoons. But for many years, we would not see cartoons on NBC anymore. It wouldn't have anything to do with that George H.W. Bush sponsored Say No to Drugs cartoon where all the cartoon characters came together, would it? It wouldn't have anything to do with the All-Star Cartoons to the Rescue, would it? You think? You think it had anything to do with it? So we are saying goodbye in this era to the NBC traditional cartoons where you could turn your brain off and have some fun adventures. Ninja Turtles used to be on there. Then it moved to CBS. A lot of cartoons were on NBC. So we're not looking at NBC cartoons anymore for the rest of this duration. Unless maybe Cubo, but I might talk about Cubo, but I don't know. But we're going to be looking at CBS cartoons. ABC, I think I have at least one new Schoolhouse Rock to show you. And then Fox. Good old Susan Powder. Yeah, she used to be chunky. Now she got slimmed down. So what was I collecting during this time? Now, I was going to all-boys school. I was collecting these. These were my 93 stuff right here. Look at this. This is the Eradicator. The Eradicator's Superman. So here's Action Comics. This is Roger Stern stuff right here. He's like a badass Terminator of sorts. We've got Steel, John Henry, the original John Henry Irons portrayal. Look at this stuff right here. She's still going on. Stop the insanity. There's the Mario Brothers movie. Yeah, White Rabbit was the villain here. And let me see if I could find the... This is where he saves Lois, but he doesn't meet Lois so much later. Here he is, the Man of Tomorrow, or the Cyborg. But at the time, we didn't know it was the Cyborg. We didn't know what was going on. Yeah, we see part of Superman there. Different time. This finally is Superboy, Connor Kent. These are different. This is when it was a joy to collect comic books back then. Look at this. Love this. Tom Grummett, they knew how to draw women back then. They knew how to draw women. You can't get away with that today. No way. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with the first cartoon. Talk a little bit about it. We'll move on. So let's take one last look at Susan. I wonder if is she still alive? She has to be still alive.
I just have an efficient way of channeling my aggressive instincts into more challenging pursuits. Like the Mega Mammoth Water Slide for 6 emblems underwater. Now that's putting water to work. Care for a spin? On that whippy thing? Ha! Kinda hot. I'll just stick to my Super Squirt Commando water can. What's the matter, boys? Afraid of some real water? Pollos? Chickens? Muck, 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 muck.
Afraid of water? Me? Certainly not.
Now, I have vague memories of this cartoon. Obviously, the star is kind of the mammoth here. Crow is the main character, right? But you have the mammoth, and you have the hot, sexy Black Tina. I don't know what she is. Doesn't matter, because she looked good in that bikini, didn't she? For a cartoon, we had no life, right? And so it focuses on the mammoth. You know what it kind of reminded me of is Wacky and Packy from Groovy Ghoulies, but this is the mammoth here. So he's frozen in ice, and then he's revived like millions of years later. And I don't know, I have never seen every single episode of this. Is Crow like, is he suspended in ice too? Does he come back into this time period, into the 90s? Does anyone know? Let me know if that actually happened, because I always want to know. Like, I wanted my 30-year-old mystery in my head solved, because well, it's kind of slightly educational, right? You know, what's that smell? That's what this episode was. There's different episodes that, you know, it teaches you something about fire and water and how it applies to the current era. So it's a cute little cartoon. I liked it a lot, but I didn't remember much of it. It's one of those cartoons you paid attention to it for like half the time and you were doing other things the other half of the time. Like checking out the doctor, maybe. I was 15, I didn't care, I don't know nothing about this, but it seemed like fun to watch. I was going through my own dilemmas with my father doing well in school. But anyway, let's go ahead and skip to Schoolhouse Rock.
To learn, 'cause knowledge is power. Wall Street prices.
Keep the change.
I remember this one.
Gotta be cool.
The stupid pigeon.
Walking on water. You'll learn a lot every day.
Oh, yeah. This is the money part, where you have to save money.
When you invest in a
Well, this is a good time, you know. At 15, why shouldn't you learn why shouldn't I learn how to save money? What is a bird? What is a bird? You know, pigeons know how to take a shit, and they know how to dance for females. There you go. You remember him? Walking back and forth on Wall Street.
Here's $1. Keep the change. That's the Wall Street way.
Yeah, I remember this. Let's look at a few commercials here. I don't recognize any of these people. Tarsha Story. Tarsha. Never heard of a Tarsha. I love that 90s Cosby sweater. Fuck school. Yep.
Then a good friend of mine took me in and taught me to respect and care for myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really have a life without an education.
It's like you got to get that education.
To actually live their life.
I am so smart. SMRT. SMART.
I learned my lesson the hard way.
Don't be disrespecting the damn teacher.
I want to be a social worker so that I can stop someone else from making the same mistake. Stay in school, way to be. All the me I can be.
Stay in school, goddammit. Cornelius Rooster. I remember Cornelius Rooster.
Nothing gets you crowing in the morning like the crisp corn taste of Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
It's Raisin Bran. There you go.
They're part of your complete breakfast.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing fruit. Yeah, this is a dumb commercial. This is all stop motion. It's got to be stop motion. Maybe it's computer graphics. I can't tell. It's 93. We're on the eve of Jurassic Park, right? We're coming on to Jurassic Park. This didn't last too long, did it? If you want gummy bears, you can just go to any store, get any gummy bear packet. You won't miss this. Oh, I do remember this commercial. Hmm.
So we have to start again, from scratch. Well, this hedgehog is never giving up. Nice of you to drop by, hedgehog. I do love surprises. Now why are you here? It's the stress. I can't take it anymore. My hedgehog nerves are shot. I tell
Yeah. I remember very little of this. I remember more the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog that came on KCOP 13, which had the cheaper color palette, where Sonic had a lesson at the end of every episode. Da 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 da. And this was the Saturday morning version with all the Freedom Fighters working together against Robotnik, who was Jim Cummings, Darkwing Duck. I do not know who did the voice of. I have no idea who did the voice of Robotnik for the weekday commercials or weekday shows. Actually, that show Sonic replaced Video Power. With what is his name, Johnny Arcade, and the Video Power game show Funhouse. This cartoon, that and Ninja Turtles. So the weekly Sonic cartoon and Ninja Turtles in reruns replaced Video Power. And you had Saturday morning show like this one where you had Uncle Chuck turn into a robot. So it'd be like Sonic the Hedgehog, right? And the other one was da-da-da-da-da. And I forgot who did the voice. You had Robotnik, and you had Scratch, and I forgot the other guy. You had the chicken robot, the rooster robot, and the little tank with the buttocks. I remember he had an ass. The one with the tank. Now, I remember this more as the Archie comics, because the Archie comics would go on for 25 years, and the continuity was all over the place. There was a crisis between Mega Man, Dr. Wily, and Dr. Eggman and Sonic, and then somehow Eggman rebooted the whole universe so that these characters were more simplified. Bunny the Rabbit would be married to the coyote here, I forgot his name. Pierre, forgot his name. Princess Sally and Sonic were just friends. You had the walrus here who was called Rotor, but then he was called Boomer, and then he was called Rotor, because they were changing names around, and Tails was more front and center. It used to be in the Archie comics that the Freedom Fighters were front and center. Tails, Knuckles, and Amy would come like second. But all that changed as the years went on. They would go through the Sonic games like Sonic 1, 2, Sonic Spinball, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles. Then came the Sega Saturn, and then Sonic Adventure. And that's the continuity I'm most interested in. The cartoon showed a little bit of what the original comic books were just before Ken Pender stepped in. Then they had Sonic Underground, which was like a Sunday show, I think. And then Sonic X, which will be later on for Saturday mornings. So I don't have a huge attachment to this one as much as I do the weekly shows. In this one, you had, what is it? Grand Nipples, the wizard that looks like a troll. You had different characters that were part of Archie Comics as well. But I remember mostly the Archie Comics stuff. So if you ever get a chance, watch those Archie comics. There's a motion comic thing on YouTube. You can watch the different ones. Crystal Maiden 77 has the best reviews for those. So you can look at the Archie comics, and the IDW ones are the more recent ones without all these guys here. All right, let's look at some more commercials, and then we're going to CBS. Oh yeah, this cute commercial. This is pizza, 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 pizza. Yeah, see how they're all Muppets? This is when they were really going for the gusto, really going out there and advertising for Little Caesars. Now you don't really see these commercials anymore.
2 free prizes for kids. Now, Little Caesars.
Yep.
Okay, rumor has it there's a Captain Crunch effect. But what is it? It's big. With that,
Yeah, I think this is the same voice actor that still does these Captain Crunch commercials. When asked to. Maurice LaMarche no longer does the voice of Toucan Sam. That's a shame. I thought we were going to have to look for the captain again. That was the old days when the Sogmaster held Captain Crunch hostage. Goof Troop. Oh, the 90s graphics. Twiz, oh yes, I do remember this. Crazy. It's cool. Uh-huh. Yep, the mouth was the star here.
Buckle up. It's
All right, let's go to CBS.
To the jungle, gata. Sail today, we'll have a swinging time singing.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah.
We'll have a swinging time singing. Zumba.
Hold on. Is that right? Hold on, one moment. One moment. Is this right? Now, I just learned this as I'm recording this, as I'm making this video for you. I actually just realized that Marsupilami was made for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox? What the fuck is this? This is an actual game? This does not look like the Marsupilami from the 90s. Now, it's a spin-off of Raw Tunage with Bonkers the Bobcat. There were all kinds of cartoon characters. But Marsupilami had it was like a series of shorts. You know, like Mickey Mouse short or Donald Duck cartoon. But what the hell they do to Marsupilami? What is this? I have not seen that. This is the first time I'm actually seeing this. But the cartoon on CBS was very good. I liked it. There was that one time they went to an actual hospital, an actual like human hospital in the middle of nowhere, and just ran around with like, or is it, no, it was a hotel. I think it was a 4-star hotel in the middle of the jungle, and they just went nuts with. Maurice is the gorilla. What is this? Bizarre. Okay, so somehow he unlocked the genie out of the lamp, whatever this is. The Aztec god, you have angered him. So what kind of game is this? Side scroller? Is it first person, third person? Ah, this looks like Donkey Kong Country. Yep. Somehow I knew it was going to be this. It looks like Donkey Kong. It looks like Donkey Kong, but less exciting. Is Maurice in this? There is no Maurice, is there? Maurice got forgotten. I guess I figured maybe it'd be copying Donkey Kong. But Maurice is Marsupilami's friend. Anyway, the CBS cartoon was much better. But I think there used to be toys, right? Pencil toppers or pencils, dolls. He looked like the Jeep from Popeye, right? The magical Jeep, Eugene the Jeep. But he had this like 12-foot tail. I hope he uses his tail for things, right? I mean, he has to use his fucking tail in this game. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if it's 2023. He has to be able to use his tail. Glad. Anyway, let's go to the other CBS cartoon. I think some of you might remember this one.
Taking me to the city in the sea.
That thing is a Cadillac, and it's not going anywhere without a new tire. Could you open the trunk and get me the spare?
Trunk?
The storage hatch in the back.
Oh. Boy. Hey, how come I'm doing all the work?
Because you shot the tire.
Sounds like Jennifer Hale to me.
Strong survive. A world of Cadillacs.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it. I mean, I do remember her. I can't forget her. There's no way. I do remember this guy here. Was his name Jack? And I think there were action figures too. In the action figures, she had her hair tied up in a ponytail. So I guess they're like trapped in a world, kind of like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, The Lost World. I guess has a little bit of Jurassic Park feel before the Jurassic Park movies were cool, right? Before even Steven Spielberg was doing his post-production on those movies and getting it done. So here we have the cast here, but I think there were just these two. They never got it on, but they sure were dodging T-Rexes and pterodactyls, weren't they? And it had a very Jack Kirby 1970s look and feel to the cartoon. Very retro. It's fun to watch it. I can't really care too much about these characters one way or the other, but I liked, it was something to pass the time. CBS was nearing the end of its cartoon run too in a few years, but this is one of the gems. Right next to Garfield and Ninja Turtles and Where's Waldo. I think Where's Waldo was done by 92, I think. You still had the Fido Dido like bumpers and shit. There wasn't much in the way of anything. Muppet Babies was done. So these are the kind of cartoons that filled the scratch the itch, that filled the void. And let's move on to Fox.
Rain or shine. Down to Tasmania, come to Tasmania.
Yep, the family members.
Bush lad is never uncouth. Bush ragabob and his mother gold mum.
Yep, the rhythm of this jingle.
Down to Tasmania, down to Tasmania, come to Tasmania. We need you.
Oh yeah, this is for the Super Nintendo and also Sega Genesis. Now, Tasmania was I think the first of the spin-offs. Later on you get Duck Dodgers and Sylvester and Tweety Mysteries and some other stuff. But this is the first of many, because before this we had Bugs Bunny and Tweety, we had Tiny Toons, but Tiny Toons was like the next generation, like Looney Tunes the next generation. I do remember somewhere in this game Wendell tries to cover up, you have to spin to take out Wendell's hands. It's like a 3D weird shit. And you had the father that said, blah, 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 yakety schmackety, this thing and that thing. The dad was like Homer Simpson, right? The mom. So you have the typical family members. And then Taz was the only one that didn't say very much. I think it was Jim Cummings once again as Taz. But, yeah, I thought it was a funny cartoon. It was on Saturday mornings. It was also on afternoons. Oh, yeah, there's Wendell. You have to spin to get his hands out of the way. Yeah, it was like a weird Mode 7 kind of quasi 3D shit here. Run through the levels. You can't stop Taz. You can't stop Taz. But this is a fun cartoon. There was just so many different ones. I know there was another one with, what was it? Oh yeah, it was like Lunatics Unleashed. It was like the future of Bugs Bunny characters in the future. Do we see the family members in this, or is it just Taz going off on the main course? Yeah. Let me show you the other big thing that was in 93 on Fox. Do you remember? It looks like Voltron, but it's not fucking Voltron. It was the first of many that would end up on ABC. Are you ready for it?
After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth.
Alpha, Venus escape. Recruiting team of T.
Yep, all of them. She died. Poor. She's still around. You can see the backflips. Bulk and Skull. Yep. Christ. Ugh. Now let me tell you a little history about this, okay? So, I grew up on Voltron. I didn't see very much of the vehicle robot Voltron team or the Lion Bot Voltron team, but I fondly remember it. In fact, Voltron had a 90s revival with Tim Curry as like the villain, the voice of the villain. Oh, you got voice acting here in the Super Nintendo. So, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I always saw them as Voltron Light. Yeah, they look like Voltron ripoff. That's all I told myself growing up at 15 years old, seeing them. So, the commercial came out, and I would hear these teenage voices go, okay, let's team up, Rangers, like something like that. Because they were advertising the toys. Now, the first generation, number one, okay? First generation of toys that came out were fucking expensive, okay? I mean, they were super cock expensive, okay? 8-foot cock expensive. Why? I do not know. The robot toys, the Megazords, the robots, all the robots that turn into the giant Megazord robot, all the creatures, the original dolls were like $70. So, you know, all the Yellow Ranger, the Pink Ranger, the Blue Ranger, the Red, the Black one, all 5 of them were too expensive. So it's like $70 for each Power Ranger and $100 to $200 for the Megazord robots and the accessories and the giant, like the sword toy. You could dress up as a Power Ranger. All that shit before the Power Ranger toys that would change their heads. You know, the ones where you flip their heads over and they have a different head. And everything was cheaper. But back then, the first generation of those Power Ranger toys, 93, were fucking expensive. Unbearably and unreasonably expensive. You all remember that. I think you do. I think you remember that shit. Fucking expensive. And then to add insult to injury, like 2 or 3 of the Power Rangers were doing drugs, okay? So they got kicked off the show and got replaced with another bunch of people. So you had the Red and Black and Yellow Ranger were replaced with 3 new guys. And they had to like fake like them being in the shot. So you had these like you would see the original Power Rangers team up against like the silhouette against the sunlight. You would see body doubles. It was very awkward. But we knew what happened. They did drugs. They were either dealing in drugs or doing drugs on the set. I don't know what was going on. But that's why they were kicked off. Then the actress later on who played the Yellow Ranger passed away. Natural causes, I guess. You had a new generation of Power Rangers. Then you had Light Force, Wild Tropic, Power Rangers in Space, Power Rangers in Time, Power Rangers everywhere. There were Power Rangers everywhere and everything. They moved from Fox to ABC. And then every person I know had like a watch. So if I could demonstrate what the watch would sound like, it was like the same watch that you had. I guess the same kind of watch where it would activate. Can you hear that? Like, I would hear that beep, 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 beep all the time. They would have that stupid, like, alarm on their watch to tell them what to do, what time to do something, what time to jerk off, what time to have lunch, what time to do their homework, I guess, what time to do martial arts. I also remember Bulk and Skull, the 2 bullies that were in the first couple of seasons. And what is it? The one they had a moral, or like just like Masters of the Universe, they had a moral or lesson at the end of each Power Rangers episode. And one of them was like, "Hey, we're not the same guys in real life. But those are just characters we play." So you got the 2 actors playing Bulk and Skull saying, "Hey, we're not like that in real life. We don't hit each other in real life. We're different people." Yeah, I remember that. So let's look at some last commercials, and then we're closing. Animaniacs. That's for another time. Oh my God. So they're not My Little Ponies. Oh yeah. That was like the next cartoon before Tasmania and after Tiny Toons. Animaniacs had a lot of adult jokes that kids would never get until later. Oh yeah, the animated series. But I'm more familiar with Batman the Animated Series as a afternoon cartoon than a Saturday morning. That was my experience. Droopy the Detective. Oh yeah, these are the bumpers for Fox. Haha! What is this? All the same. I remember this. Bungle around. Yeah, I remember this commercial. Batteries not included. Well, we don't need no batteries. Just slam it against the wall. Yeah, I do remember this. Annoying thing it is. Let's see the next one. See if it's any good. Oh yeah, when it was still fresh and new. All right, let's conclude this. I hope you had as much fun watching this as I did putting it together. I might get copyright claimed on this. I'm not sure. This is the last of my cathode ray tube TVs that I've had. This one I've had since the 90s, and I was happy to share this with you. Look at this. You got the output, video output, audio output. Anyway, if you like this video, you know what to do. And also check out, I put up the latest Superman Dynasty. I worked so hard on that. Please check it out. Along with my other videos from past to present, from 2015 to now. Until next week, we'll focus on Skeleton Warriors, I think, and then eventually the Kids WB.